All right, guys, we've got the 310 JBL going up against the XV900. Now, before anybody says, "Hey, whoa, these are two different size speakers," you can't do that. That's not fair. Any of the electronic Karens out there that think this is a bad comparison. I've had multiple requests to see these two against each other, so we're going to do it. All right, I'm about 10 feet away. The camera's about 10 feet away from these speakers. Now the 310, I've got it in a custom EQ, and I also have the XV900 in custom EQ. So I'll show you what I'm doing with the JBL. Pretty much what I've been doing with the other ones. In their app, it starts out in the middle, so you go up to, down to. I go up to on the boost for the bass, and up to for the boost on the treble, and 1 on the mid-range. Now over to the XV900, the Sony app. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I've got the treble and the bass, similar deal. It's got 3-band EQ, but more fine tuning you can do. I've got it maxed on bass and treble, and then the mids raised up a few notches. So that's kind of what I've been doing with previous videos. So we're going to start the Partybox 310 on the left. We're going to start these at 40%. Both of these are plugged in right now, and then probably at the end I'll do one song with both of them run off their battery. So here we go with the 310, 40%. Sony. I'll just pause it there and give you a couple of remarks here. The 310 is actually a little bit louder at 40% when both these are 40%. A few decibels louder, and you can tell that one of the knocks with the 310, like a year ago when I did some reviews and comparisons, it had kind of a warmer sound to it, but the app at the time didn't have the EQ on until they updated it. So with the app, when you raise that treble up and the mids to a little bit, it creates more clarity and detail in the output. And you can tell the 310 just right off the bat does have more clarity and detail in the mids and highs than the Sony, even though it's got its treble maxed out. So all right, we'll go back to it. We'll go up to 60%. Now you go to 60%, the difference between the two is not as much output wise. Actually, Sony might be just a hair louder. So at lower volume, when you're comparing them 40 to 40, of course the volume scaling is not always the same with all speakers, but as you can tell, when you get to 60, the Sony caught up with the JBL as far as overall output goes. So that was at 40 and 60. So now we're going to go start one at 60, and then we'll go up to 80. Still 60%. So at 80%, they're both loud. That's really loud for inside a medium-sized room. But the Sony, it's a few decibels louder now, so it's kind of past the JBL as far as output goes. Bass-wise, the 310 is hanging really well. It kind of sounds like it might be hitting a little bit deeper actually than the Sony, and it still is maintaining that detail, clarity advantage. All right, let's go back to it. I'm going to go to 100% now, and can't run it for very long or it'll blow my ears out. 100%. So at 100%, the Sony is a little bit louder. It's really not a big advantage, but it is a couple, 2-3 dBs louder. And the Sony kind of loses some bass at 100%, so it makes it sound brighter as you go higher in volume. The Sony does, so it sounds a little more uneven as you go up the scale than the JBL does. The JBL loses some bass too, but it doesn't seem like it loses as much bass, and it kind of maintains the upper mids and the highs compared to the lower volume to the higher volume. It kind of remains mostly the same. It doesn't change the sound signature that much, whereas the Sony seems like it changes it more. So I'm going to pause this and we'll unplug them and see what we got. Okay, now we're going to go at 60%. We're on that same track, and then I'll try another one. Now both of these are unplugged. Sony. .310. Go up to 80%. Sony is still louder by a few dBs, and at least with this song anyway, when you get, seems like it has a brighter, that sound signature at the top end actually is brighter sounding than the JBL. Now we're going to change tracks, get a little bit different, something a little different here, a little more rock oriented as far as the sound goes. What you guys think so far, let me know in the comments below. So we're going to start this still at 80%. This does. Seems like Sony gets brighter as you go higher in volume. Go up to 100%. So yeah, the Sony is louder. It's not a huge difference, but you get higher in volume like that, like I said, it gets brighter. It kind of gets a little more harsh, kind of like it cuts some bass and increases the mids and upper mids and highs. So I think from 0 to 100%, the JBL retains its sound signature better. It doesn't get harsh when you get to the max volume. Sony tends to do that. So take it for what it is between these two. Obviously there's a big price difference, size difference, but I think the JBL 310 hangs pretty well with the 900. Like I said, it's not quite as loud. Bass wise, one could argue it may actually have a more natural complete bass compared to what the Sony does when you go up in volume. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Either one of these are good options, but obviously if you need something more portable, the 310 is more portable. It's just not going to be quite as loud. If you need something louder, the XV900 is obviously louder. That's a wrap, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Let's keep the channel going. That's a wrap.